Hello guys, this is Viviana Castañeda and this is a space created by Digital Mompreneurs to talk and to interview these empower women that have got the guts to go digital and create their own digital businesses. So I'm so happy to be interviewing them. As you know, we as moms, we don't have the same time we did before. And well, this is a job. Being a mom is a job 24/7. So it is always great to see all this journey with other mompreneurs and learn how they do it, how they face all the challenges that they have to face on a daily basis. So here we are. We're gonna have in Li Huo, who is she used to be a physician and she went from that to be a digital mompreneur. So let's invite her and Lee. Here you are. Let me invite you. Okay, just send the invitation. Hi, Lee.
Hi, this is working.
It is working. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? What's the temperature like right now?
Have you got your coffee? It is very hot here. It's hot.
So, it was about 89 degrees yesterday. That's Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's rather warm as well. Oh, there's Mia. She's my marketing coach. Hello, Mia.
Hi.
She is. She's also she's the one. Yeah, she's the one who's in Australia that I was telling you about.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
So it was like 80, 89 degrees here in California, and I was really upset about it because I was like, we haven't had a winter. And then I know other people in other parts of the country that are like, are you crazy? It's freezing here. It's 20 degrees, 25 degrees. We would give anything to see the sunshine. And so I totally understand, because when it's so sunny and bright all the time, I know I sound like a spoiled brat, but I'm like, no, we need the rain. We need some cold weather.
Oh, I love all kind of weathers. Like, I'm happy. Yeah, we have to enjoy what we have, right?
Exactly.
Very
And
nice.
today, actually, it was cooler and it actually sprinkled a little bit. See, in Los Angeles, we always want rain because we're always in a drought. So today it sprinkled a little bit, so I was very happy.
Okay. Well, it is very hot here. We are here in Brisbane, Australia, so here is very, very hot. Still is very hot, but yeah.
Does it get cool at all?
Yes, we have winter in June and July.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have the 4 seasons. So, Lee, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm so excited to have interviewing you because it is so amazing to see all moms that are interested in building their businesses and make their way to, success and professional and entrepreneurship growth. So I love that. And please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for asking me to be on here with you. So let me see. I don't even know where to start. I feel like I've lived new lives now. So like you said, I'm a mom of 2. I live in Los Angeles. By trade, I am a physician. I was practicing for about 15 years as an OBGYN, so that's women's health. And if you can imagine being an OBGYN, I can't deliver a baby from home. So all of my work is obviously in person, and obviously really physically demanding and also emotionally demanding and stressful. So I did that for, 19 years of my life, 15 years as a full-on sort of attending physician, we call it. And then before then, there was all the training. So what happened was I burned out. The work was really stressful. I didn't have coaching in my life. Had an emotional baggage and stress that I just wasn't dealing with. I think one of your questions that you asked me earlier is like, you asked like something about my emotional state, and I could tell you at that time, I was just numb. I was just numb at that time when I burned out and I left my job. And so when I left my job around that time, my kids were young. One was about to go into kindergarten. She was in pre-K, I think. My other one was probably in second grade or so. And so I left and I tried various entrepreneurial ventures. So I would do things like I would be asked to be a medical director for a spa. I would do various things like aesthetics and stuff like that. Not an OBGYN anymore, but still along the lines of medical.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at that time, so all of these things were still in person. I was still trying to figure it out. And at that time, I was introduced to my first digital platform, medicine. At that time, that was really rare. No one did. People saw doctors in person, live.
When you said at that time, you mean like
so about 2 years. So about 2 years after I left my job, my traditional job,
okay.
I went on a platform called Maven. They still exist. In fact, they've expanded. And it was one of the first digital health platforms for women. And if any of your listeners are out there, you guys should check it out. It's so easy. Basically, providers make themselves available. And if you, as a patient, you can open up an account and schedule yourself for 10-minute appointments. And it's all through video like this. Because I could see someone from New York, even though I'm in LA. I could see someone from Texas, even though I'm in LA. And I just couldn't prescribe. And that was the first time. And I was like, wow, this is really neat. I joined them because at the time, there was nothing like that. Like, think about when you had a baby, just like very, like 2 weeks after, we'll say. I'm just going to be very blunt here. You're not feeling good, right?
No.
And
you're recovering?
Right. You're in pain. You don't know what's normal. You know, your breasts got like milk squirting out. You're bleeding. You're not feeling good. And then so you don't know if it's normal. And so you really like to go see the doctor. But the thought of going in, dragging yourself and your baby who's young just makes you not want to go. And then you end up in the American system. We'll end up sitting in like the urgent care or the ER for hours. But this, with Maven Digital Health, I was like, this is amazing for postpartum moms who just need someone to look at them, to reassure them, to look at their C-section incision, just say, no, that doesn't look infected. You're good. The pain that you have is normal still because you just had a baby. So I just felt like that was so helpful. And there's a lot of other uses for it. You can refill birth control pills for young women who can't get in to see their doctors right away. You know they're going to do it. They just need something for 2 months. So that was the first time I was actually my mind even thought about, oh, there could be something digitally, something online for.
Me, I cannot hear you anymore. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. I lost you for a second.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Well, do you think back then it was going to be hard? Like, do you think, oh my God, I would like to create this business, but I don't know how hard it is going to be. I'm scared. How were you emotionally in that time?
Well, at the time I was lost, I'll be honest. I wasn't sure what I was going to do because I was still stuck in that mindset of I have to do something in person in order to do something as far as a career. And so it really wasn't until the pandemic, right? When the pandemic hit in 2020 in the US, everything shut down. And then people had to pivot as to how are we going to do this now, right? People are afraid to go into the hospital. My own business venture in aesthetics took a big, deep dive. Like I was not working at all basically because people were afraid, and it's all understandable. That's when I turned and found life coaching. And life coaching, basically, it's all Zoom calls. No one did them in real life anymore. I think back before there was this type of technology, before Zoom and before any type of technology, coaching used to be live in person. And then you would talk to the person on the phone. So the pandemic hit, and I was introduced to life coaching. And within, I don't know, a couple of weeks of listening to podcasts at the life coach school, I decided I wanted to get certified and do this as a living. And so that's really when I sort of realized, wow, I could create something online and do this from a digital platform And it was, sometimes I still don't believe it.
I know, it's still unbelievable. And the power that it has, right? Allowing you to work from home and doing your thing and having free time and doing something, actually living the lifestyle that you want to live by doing something that you love, that you really like. I just, is amazing the power that internet has now.
Yeah, we can really appreciate the technology, right? Because 10 years ago, this would not have been possible.
No, not at all. So
you know?
what is it that you do exactly? What is your business? What are your services?
Yep. So I'm a life coach. Like I said, so now I resigned from my job 6-7 years ago, and I was doing telemedicine for a while. And even during the pandemic, I went to work in person in clinic with obstetric patients for about 6 months. And I stopped that because my whole goal now is to go all in on life coaching, and that's done digitally. And so I love your handle, by the way, Digital Mompreneur. I never thought about it that way. It's like, oh, that's so clever. It's so true. I'm doing everything digitally. I'm a mom and I'm an entrepreneur or a solopreneur right now. So I love your handle. Just like beautiful.
Thank you.
Clever. Very clever. So I don't know if you know what life coaching is, but life coaching basically, there's so many of us now because there's such a big need for it. It's not quite therapy. It's basically looking at someone who doesn't have an actual diagnosable mental illness, and we help them see, hey, listen, do you like the way that your life is at right now? Are there goals that you want to set? And then from there, we help them to see, oh, the life that I'm in right now, I think I've created that. And if I created that, that means that I can change it, that I can go after what I want instead. So for me, I feel like I'm the living proof of that, right? I went from medicine, which is a very traditional, conventional job that's done all in person, to sort of doing telemedicine and entrepreneurial ventures, to now life coaching purely on a digital platform. And that's huge to help people. And my reach is I'm still able to help people, which is the crazy part, because I used to think I can only help people in person. And so what do? I work with female healthcare professionals who are moms who can't seem to make time for themselves, who meet the needs of everybody else, and who puts themselves last. So I basically empower them to prioritize themselves through creation of time for self-care and self-discovery. So what I hear a lot of working moms will say is like, hey, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. I'm working. I have kids. When I come home, I got to make dinner. I got to do this, and I have cleaning that dog, right? And exactly. So those are external factors, and I definitely help women manage time. There's a way to manage time so you can actually free up time. But what I find as more common is actually women have very deeply embedded beliefs that prevent them from setting time for themselves. So this gets very deep. A lot of women are like, well, I don't deserve time to myself because isn't that what a mom's supposed to do? Aren't I supposed to put myself last and address my kids' needs first? Well, they need help with homework. Well, of course I got to drop everything so I could do it for them. Or, oh, whoops, they forgot their book at school. I got to run back and get it for them, right? And then just everything. Oh, so-and-so called. I guess I have to help with a bake sale tomorrow. I don't know if you guys have that in Australia, but here they're always looking for volunteers for parents for the schools. Yeah. And so, but what's really running in the back of your head is, I'm not worthy of the time that I created for myself. Or I'm not. And that's really hard. I actually I have written a blog about that. And yes, it is so true. Like we give and give and give and give. I realized like we all have gone through that, and I realized in my journey that I was just super unhappy, and I was like, why I am unhappy if I have a husband that loves me, my kids are healthy, we have a roof, we have food, I can do whatever I want to do. Right. Why I am unhappy?
And then I started digging and digging, and then yes, I definitely need time for me, for myself, to be like the person I am, and then I can give to others. Definitely.
Yes. And I think that somewhere along the way, we've learned subliminally through society or directly taught to us by our own mothers, our own parents, our own cultural beliefs, that somehow as a mother, you have to lose your identity as who you were before. And I'm saying, no, it's great that you're a mother. I love being a mother, of course. It's probably one of the best roles I have in my life, but it doesn't mean that I died to myself. It means that I can continue, right? Continue to find out and figure out who I am. And I actually think that's a better role model for my kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Than to be sort of this all-sacrificing person. Oh, let me put your needs first. Let me put your needs first. And then how are kids supposed to learn that they're actually not supposed to come first? Like, right? I mean, in life, they're not going to. So how do you learn that, right?
That's really true. That's so true. I actually, one of the things that I have with my kids is you came here to complement our lives, and we love you with all our heart. But if you're going to watch TV, for example, okay, now it's your sister's turn, and now it's my turn, and now it's daddy's turn. Like everybody here has the same right. So yeah, it's like a family thing. It's not only you. It's not only mommy has to give me. I have my rights too, and I have my needs too. Yeah.
So I think it's also very interesting because I think that women in healthcare who work in healthcare are so used to addressing the needs of patients, and and so they do that at work. They're giving at work, and then they come home. Then they become a mom and a spouse, and they're giving at home in their spouse, right? So then it's like, where's time for myself? And people sometimes think, oh, if I take time for self-care, someone's going to die. Like there's going to be disaster. And that's just simply not true. That's just our brain sort of telling us these lies because we're not prioritizing ourselves. I work with quite a few healthcare workers, women who are moms, physicians or nurses or whatever in the healthcare realm. And I distinctly remember one of them felt like she really could go for physical therapy and massage to help her own physical health. Okay. So she needs to be in good physical health so she can do her workouts, she could do her runs, and that's how she's happy. And that's her self-care. But because of certain injuries, she's not able to. But she knows how to get better. It's physical therapy and certain massages and chiropractic visits. And so, well, why don't you do them? And she goes, well, I don't want to spend the money. And I'm like, well, I know you make good money. She's like, yeah, but that's for the family.
Yeah.
I'm like, aren't you part of the family too?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that interesting? Somewhere along the way, this person who's so important, who's bringing in income to support this family, decided that money should go to everybody else except for her.
I can relate to that. At some point, you just don't. I used to, what happened to me? It was fun because I didn't want to buy like clothes, and whenever I buy clothes or anything that I like, I felt guilty.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, why I'm spending this money? Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, it's something that we have to learn in the journey, and that's why we have life coaches like you, because there are many things that we have in front of our, like we know, for example, we already know, this is something that I say a lot. We know that we don't have the same time we used to before our kids, but still we keep putting loads and loads of tasks in our daily tasks, like we are, Wonder Woman. It's unbelievable, and we want to do it everything. It's I don't know, but we know that we need to be told again, hey, you don't have the same time. Please be realistic.
Right.
So yeah.
So that's actually one of the big deals that I work with my clients. They have a big to-do list, right? Almost every mom does. And then, so there's actually a couple strategies to help you succeed. One, let's be realistic about what you can do instead of just taking it on. Instead of saying automatic yes, I teach my clients to say no.
Yeah.
Right? Because we just want to, people always like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And then later on, you're like, wait, what? Well, what did I just agree to? Like, I don't have time for that. And so that's one of those things is learn to say no, right? I also teach them how to really time manage as far as the to-do list. A lot of people, what they do is they have a running list. But why tell me you got to put all that in your calendar and you slot a time for all of those things.
Yeah.
So there's definitely ways that there's physical, tangible things we can do to make sure that we're successful with our time or we're efficient with our time. And then there's the internal piece, right? Why aren't we getting done? What are some limiting beliefs that we have that's preventing us from doing some things, especially things that are for ourselves?
Yeah, definitely everything is perspective. Like when you change the way you see things, everything can just change like enormously. And the other thing that I found super helpful and I know work is changing habits and make them in pro of your daily life. Everything from drinking a glass of water to do at least 5 minutes meditation or read a book or something like that, that will eventually, with the compound effect, change your mindset and make you actually go for the things that you really want to go without having all these feelings.
Right.
But yeah, it's amazing what you're doing.
Thank you. I love what I'm doing. I love it. Definitely. So it's a very different type of impact, right? Before it was a safe passage of a baby or some gynecological care, which I could still do in the sense that I still put my messages out there in education wise. That's definitely, I just don't do the actual physical exam piece anymore. But we have a question here.
Yeah.
It says, do you want me to read it or do you want to read it?
Please go for it.
Okay, it says, I think it's from Ken and Chino, my friends. Hello. Says, do you think you would ever pursue a hybrid digital in-person format? Do you think that there's any value to moms getting out of their home setting to escape to a neutral place? Well, that's a great question. My goal is that speaking to a mom and helping them to empower themselves and prioritize themselves, that they are going to get out to do what they want to do, like going on a hike with a friend, like going on a one-day vacation by themselves to a hotel, that I hope that I am not the only escape that they have, that that's their only way out, if you will. At this moment in time, I don't foresee an in-person format, but I think that I would love to offer workshops to moms for self-care, teach them how to do self-care and have workshops about diet, fitness, time management. So I could definitely see that type of format. And that's something that I'm working on.
That's right. Because one of the beautiful things of digital businesses is that you can, you don't really need to do one-on-one services or being chasing customers or cold calling or that stuff, but you have the chance to approach many people and give real value to that people in a massive way. And this is the amazing thing of digital entrepreneurship. I love that.
Yes, absolutely. You're totally right. It's not just the power of reach is beyond one-on-one. It's definitely, you can have your reach further. You can definitely provide value and people, they get tips from our posts, from our webinars, from our talk right now. And that's without even really having direct contact with us, if that makes any sense,
Yeah, but still one-to-one coaching would be like something that you may do in the future or...
So I offer one-on-one coaching now. And it's very, very rewarding. And that is what I plan on doing for the time being. There are a lot of coaches out there that offer online digital courses. Mm-hmm. There are coaches out there that offer group coaching, but I'm not quite there yet. I really enjoy the one-on-ones. And so that's where I'm at. But awesome. I have Instagram accounts and I put my messages out there, like little teaching, some of the experiences I've been through, why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, and one last question, Lee, that I think many people would like to hear is, what is biggest challenge that you have had to face when being a mom and an entrepreneur? Like something that could have happened to you with your kids, or something like that while you were working. Tell us the story.
So there's, again, tangible things. So when I'm working, there's been plenty of times they walk in because they need something. That's easy to do because I literally say, Mommy has a meeting. Unless you're bleeding or choking, you do not come into the office. I can do that because they're 14 and 12, so they can call 911 if need be. But that is literally what I say to them. Mommy's in a meeting that you cannot interrupt. And so they understand that. Some of the more frustrating parts are, so for example, there's, as a coach and entrepreneur, and someone who's on social media, I have to work on a lot of content. And so that takes creativity, right? And that's not something I'm used to doing because as a physician, we learn and memorize everything. There's not too much room for creativity. Too much, if you're too creative, you get sued. But we sort of have to just do things by the books. So there's not a lot of time for creativity. And so I found that part of being on the digital platform and being an entrepreneur, that is a challenge, is to constantly to tap into my creativity, to write all these posts, to write all the emails, to write it in a way that will connect with my followers and my subscribers, to really speak what I'm trying to say clearly so people understand where I'm coming from. So that's definitely a challenge. So when I do those type of things, my kids is so interesting. My husband's home, but all the questions come to me. Mom, can you help me with the homework? Mom, can you help me with the laundry? I'm like, what? There's another person out there who can address these needs. It's like, but it's just interesting that that they come to me. That is their first instinct. Is I'm going to ask mom, and then I redirect them. And so that is the challenge. I'll be honest with you. So, but that's all external. So I really plan well in the sense that when my kids are at school, I try to get as much as I can done, like the bulk of the creativity work, and then I do busy work later when they're home, when I know that they can interrupt me and it doesn't interrupt the flow. Yeah. So those are these tangible things. And things like right after school, like today, my daughter was supposed to have basketball practice, but it got canceled because of the sprinkle that we have. And so now I had to, she called and I was like, you just have to wait at school until we're done with this. So there's these little challenges, but I don't mind them. The real challenge, I'll be honest with you, is in the mind.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I be successful? Mm-hmm. Can I be successful doing this? Because it almost seems too good to believe. And how do I define success? How many people do I help? Or do I define it by the amount of money I make? So those are the internal challenge, and it really is it possible for me to do something like this that is completely sort of out of what I know how to do? I don't have, I talked about this in my recent email, I don't have a roadmap to how I'm going to get to success as an entrepreneur. We don't. We take a chance, and we take a chance every day, and we risk failure, right? And I was used to medicine where you follow a path. It's clearly marked for me. If I do these things and I work hard, I will get there and I will succeed. That's what I was comfortable with, something that had a roadmap. Entrepreneur? No roadmap. No one knows how to succeed exactly.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things that my coach says to me a lot is failure really doesn't exist. It will exist if you just stop trying. Like failure is when you stop trying.
Absolutely.
Stop, period. You can succeed at any time during your journey, but you have to keep pushing, keep going, and yes, it will happen eventually.
Yes, because if you don't try at all, then you have already failed.
Yeah, exactly. And then if you feel that you are failing for something, you just learn from it and keep going, and that's growth, right? When you are in your uncomfortable zone, there is where growth happens.
Very uncomfortable. But I believe, right? I have a strong, right? And that's part of coaching too, is what are your thoughts? The thoughts is, I will make this happen. And I will tell you this as sort of the deal sealer. Does that make sense? My kids know that this is a journey I'm on. And one day we were talking, and my son and my daughter literally both said, "Oh, you mean the day that you become a millionaire?" I was like, "What?" They believe that I will succeed. And that broke me. Yeah, it broke me in a good way, right? Like, I'm like, oh my God, they have such faith in me. I have to
if they do believe in me, why I won't believe
right.
in me?
The belief that they have in me is so fierce and so unshakable that I was like, what? What did you just say? God. Yeah, so it's like, how can I fail now? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I will make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. Amazing. I love it. I love it. I'm so glad to have you here because we talk many things that thinking and that I share with with my audience, and it's amazing. I just want to say, guys, I encourage you all, if you want to do your business, go for it. It is super worth it, and you can make really create the lifestyle that you want to live by doing something that you love. So make it happen. Nobody will do it for you. You have to do it on your own, but you have coaches and you have many things, many tools that you can use. So here we are in Digital Mompreneurs to help you go through that if you need help. And I'm so glad to have you here, Lee, because it's really nice insights that you have shared with us today. Well, thank you so much for inviting me. And you guys can follow me on Instagram and get in touch with me that way. Please, do you want to say something about that, like your social media? Oh, okay, yeah. You can find me on my IG account at Coaching with Lee. And I have my website or a landing page close enough to a website, www.coachingwithlee.com. So it's very easy to remember. And like I said, what you said too is like, I feel like once you believe, then go out and do it. Because if you've already conceived the idea in your brain, that means that your brain is trying to make a pathway to make it happen. And all I can say is, gotta go for it. Yeah, amazing. Amazing sentence. So, guys, if you want to go for it, remember, we are here to help you. And if you're a mom, digital mompreneur that want to be in one of these interviews and share the really nice and beautiful insights that likely have shared today, please let me know and we'll be here on camera as well. So thank you, Lee. Thank you. I'll be seeing you in the inside. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Bye. Bye.